Imagine, if you will, a figure both sinister yet charismatic, a predator who hunted in the exotic locales of the East, blending seamlessly into the liberated and carefree throngs of the 1970s hippie trail. Charles Sobhraj, the name echoes like a sinister whisper down the corridors of criminal lore, chiefly among the most elusive and puzzling figures of the 20th century. Sobhraj, often known as the Serpent for his sly ability to slither through the clutches of the law through multiple identities and daring prison escapes, carved a path of deceit across Asia, leaving behind a chilling trail of crimes and mysteries that remain subjects of intrigue even decades later. His life isn't just a collection of crime scenes, it's a murky window into the depths of human manipulation and mystery. Despite being a figure so shaded by his acts of cruelty, there is an undeniable allure around Charles Sobhraj, the complex mastermind, the sophisticated thief, and the cold-blooded murderer. His saga not only challenges our moral compass, but also invites us to explore the darkest corridors of the human psyche. The 1970s was an era marked by a quest for freedom and an escape from the socio-political upheavals of the time. It gave rise to the famous hippie trail, a path between Europe and South Asia that was trodden by thousands of young Westerners. These individuals, in their pursuit of enlightenment and adventure, became unsuspecting players in Sobhraj's predatory schemes. The hippie trail was not just a route, but a backdrop to Sobhraj's sinister ballet, using the travelers' search for spirituality as a gateway to their exploitation. The trail stretched from Europe through the Middle East to South Asia, painting an enticing picture for many adventurous souls. Yet it was along these very routes that Sobhraj found his victims. The cultural and historical milieu of this trail provided a fertile ground for Sobhraj to execute his crimes, blending into a scene dominated by peace, love, and trust, concepts he profoundly manipulated. As travelers sought the exotic and the spiritual, they often overlooked the dangers of venturing into unfamiliar territories, where a man like Sobhraj could easily disguise his deadly motives behind a charming facade. Delving into Charles Sobhraj's psychological makeup is akin to navigating a labyrinth without a map. Criminal psychologists view Sobhraj as a textbook psychopath, charming, manipulative, and utterly lacking in remorse. His ability to charm his victims, many of whom were seasoned travelers, into trusting him with their lives speaks volumes about his pathological charisma. Experts often attribute his complex personality to a troubled upbringing. Born to a Vietnamese mother and Indian father, and later adopted by his mother's new French husband, Sobhraj's life was mired in identity conflicts and abandonment issues. These elements perhaps sculpted his capability for cultural chameleonic tactics, maneuvering easily across different social landscapes. Through interviews with psychologists, a pattern emerges. Sobhraj enjoyed the power derived from manipulating and ultimately destroying his victims. It wasn't just about the material gain. Something far more sinister drove his actions. Charles Sobhraj's criminal career is dotted with a series of audacious scams and brutal murders, beginning in the early 70s. His modus operandi often involved preying on young tourists, befriending them, poisoning them to feign illness, and then caring for them while robbing them blind or worse, leading to their deaths. His crimes spanned multiple countries, including Thailand, Nepal, India, and even Turkey, making him a true cosmopolitan criminal. Despite his capture being a priority, the fragmented nature of law enforcement across these jurisdictions played to his advantage. Sobhraj utilized fake passports, donned disguises, and spun tales that left even seasoned travelers disarmed and vulnerable. Each crime peeled back a layer of his complex psyche, revealing a man governed by an insatiable predilection for control and chaos. This segment serves not just to enumerate his crimes, but to analyze them through the lenses of behavioral patterns and psychological insights, helping to piece together the puzzle of the serpent's mind. In the swath of serial killers and high-profile criminals, Charles Sobhraj holds a peculiar distinction. He was a media sensation, not just in the regions his crimes frequented, but globally. His suave demeanor, coupled with a penchant for dramatic escapes and trials, made him a figure of dark fascination. The media chronicled his moves not just through news articles, but through books, documentaries, and interviews, often portraying him with a mix of revulsion and awe. This segment explores how his portrayal fluctuated between a cunning villain and a tragic anti-hero. His life rights were sold for movies and series, most notably Netflix's The Serpent, which threaded through his life via a tinted lens of intrigue and horror. The implications of such portrayals are profound, affecting how society consumes true crime, and the ethics involved therein. It's essential to consider the role the media played in amplifying Sobhraj's legacy, possibly even aiding in his mythologizing, painting a picture of a man who was as much a creation of his misdeeds as of the public and media's fascinated repulsion. Legal machinations around Charles Sobhraj were as serpentine as his nickname suggests. From his first imprisonment in India in 1971 to his dramatic arrest and subsequent prison break in Thailand, and finally his rearrest in Nepal in 2003, Sobhraj's encounters with the law were nothing short of a high-stakes drama. Legal experts interviewed describe how Sobhraj exploited the inefficiencies and loopholes in international law enforcement to his advantage. His legal battles, embellished with tales of escape, bribery, and manipulation, offer a unique window into the complexities of prosecuting international criminals in a world where legal boundaries are both rigid and porous. This part delves into the intricate dance between Sobhraj and legal systems across different countries, showcasing how law, morality, and criminal ingenuity intersect in the global pursuit of justice. Charles Sobhraj's legacy is not confined to the annals of criminal records. It permeates various aspects of culture and public consciousness. His life story has inspired countless adaptations in literature and screen, painting a picture of a charming yet terrifying figure who could manipulate almost anyone. Through interviews with cultural historians and creators inspired by Sobhraj, this section explores how his saga has been woven into the broader narrative fabric of society. It investigates the fascination with figures like Sobhraj in modern culture, reflecting on what this tells us about the societal allure of the morbid and mysterious. The reflection on Sobhraj's impact on arts and society underscores the complex relationship between reality and representation, between real-life villainy and its cultural echo. In this comprehensive section, insights from various experts including criminal psychologists, law enforcement officers, and cultural commentators are woven together to present a multifaceted view of Charles Sobhraj. These interviews provide deeper understanding and reflections on his psychological profile, the legal struggles to bring him to justice, and his lasting impact on media and culture. Each expert provides a different lens through which to view the Serpent's legacy, contributing to a richer, more nuanced portrait of Sobhraj. This segment underscores the value of multidisciplinary approaches in comprehending complex figures like Sobhraj. The saga of Charles Sobhraj, while rooted in the turbulent decades of the late 20th century, continues to fascinate and perturb. His story raises pertinent questions about the glamorization of criminals in media, the ethical considerations in storytelling, and the enduring human fascination with moral transgressions. This reflective segment draws from all the previous sections to consider how Sobhraj's cunning and cruelty continue to resonate in contemporary cultural landscapes. It examines what his enduring legacy says about the shadow sides of human nature that are simultaneously repelling and captivating. Through a dialectic examination of past and present, this conclusion not only draws the threads of Sobhraj's complex narrative together, but also encourages readers to reflect on the broader implications of his life and crimes in today's world. In this documentary, The Shadow of the Serpent, Charles Sobhraj reveals itself not just as a series of cold criminal acts, but as a perennial mirror of our darkest curiosities and fears. His story compels us to confront uncomfortable truths about society, justice, and the human psyche, making Sobhraj a figure impossible to ignore and essential to understand. And that wraps up another spine-tingling journey into the world of true crime. If you're hungry for more captivating stories and jaw-dropping revelations, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all the latest releases from Abyss of Crime. Stay tuned for our next gripping release. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the mysteries of the unknown. Goodbye for now.